For those unaware, can you explain what insulin resistance is, right? And how insulin resistance can prevent a person from losing weight?
Sure. That's, unfortunately, there's a lot of, conflicting information as far as insulin resistance. When it's basic, just like, we discussed the other buildups within the body due to mucus, the same is true with insulin resistance. It's just that the pancreas, which is responsible for secreting the insulin, into the bloodstream, it becomes inflamed, it becomes damaged, it becomes irregular, and the zone that is supposed to secrete the insulin actually becomes so inflamed and impacted that it's completely blocked up by mucus, and no insulin is getting into the bloodstream to regulate blood sugar and more. Most people believe that their body actually stopped producing the insulin, which isn't true. It may go, levels may go down, but the pancreas just isn't actually able to release it due to the inflammation and the mucus, which is, of course, depriving the pancreas of oxygen. So by flooding, by cleansing, and why that might actually, stop someone from being able to lose weight is because, sugar, excess sugar, and being that the insulin is not being released into the bloodstream once the inflammation builds up, that excess sugar is going to be overly abundant and store in cells because it has no place to go, especially the way we consume sugar, really in all forms. I don't think people realize that pastas, breads, rice, potatoes, and much more break down into sugar within the body ultimately. So that combination again is a perfect storm in the worst way, for now the body not being able to lose weight, becoming extremely inflamed, and honestly a wide range of, from the eyesight going to joint pain and back pain and addictions, as well as hormonal imbalance and mental health issues, have all been attributed to diabetes, pre-diabetic, what we call that, which is all really at the root cause, in an issue because the insulin is not being released from the pancreas.
So a lot of people who struggle with weight, they run into a frustration because they believe they're eating properly and they're working out, but they're not losing weight. But the root cause is
Mucus and mucoid plaque, and building up in different parts of the body. So, as we spoke in the case of the pancreas, not being able to secrete insulin, there's usually multiple compromised zones in the body. The first place where the plaque and the tar builds up in the body to create blockages is usually the colon, the digestive system, which is why we always recommend somewhat of a full cleansing for your vital systems, the colon, kidney, liver, pancreas, and a few more, depending on the symptoms, can be all necessary to truly experience the results that people are looking for, which is why we recommend the Alkaline Foods Nutritional Guide to help the body reset its gut microbiome, because many people won't heal properly just because they're not able to absorb properly to then treat the zones of the body that now need the extra attention.
I'm glad you brought that up because I think it was uh Brother Layla Africa's book. He spoke about how when you're in such an unhealthy state, the body can't absorb the nutrients to make you healthy. So
No,
it's like you're in a bad zone. You
danger
know
zone.
what I'm saying?
And really most people are trapped there. There's a plaque layer that builds up in the colon, and if you're not looking to get into at least, long stretches of what we call clean alkaline foods, or with a lot of like fruits and veggies fresh in the mix, or straight raw fasting, that it's difficult to get these things removed from the body once we have decades. A lot of people got 20, 30
So
years
so
worth.
that's scary. So you can be taking these herbs and they do you no benefit if you're in such a healthy condition.
I wouldn't say no.
Yeah.
But it can be much less. You can be absorbing 20%, 30, 40% of what your body potentially could be utilizing, which, is frustrating. It is why a lot of people have like a seesaw. They get a little bit better and then they get worse. And because if they're not going to stay strict long enough for the body to begin to absorb better and fix the gut microbiome, it is going to be more difficult in many cases. But yeah, in a weak range of absorption, and yes, some aren't absorbing properly really anything at all. In the worst case scenario, but the average person, they're probably just absorbing, a good chunk less than they would like to. So you're not getting the best bang for your buck in the beginning, right? But the longer you stay focused and you cleanse things up with your eating, now everything is going to work a lot better. And that's a huge reason why I recommend sea moss first and foremost. No food helps the gut microbiome and adds minerals on the level that sea moss does. So it's a 2-for-1 powerhouse for your body.